Hi, I'm Effects, and this is the 2007 KTM 690 Supermoto.
So cliche, I see the sparks you throw my way. I know your name is written on everyone's mind. Your whole show is captivating me, but don't think that I can see right through that disguise. But when you got close to me, you had me falling so hard, baby, hard, baby. Yeah, now I get it, you got heads turning, and you don't even try. Well, would you look at that, my glass is empty, glass empty. How about I get another drink, baby, okay, I get it, you got fire burning, right there in your eyes. But when you got
So, 2007 KTM 690 Supermoto. That is what we're riding today. It is not new, not in pristine condition. It has a 652, 654, give or take, cc engine, sporting about 60-ish horsepower, 62, 63, again, as usual, depending on where you look up the numbers. And it is dry 152 kilograms. It has a 13.5 liter tank, so add that up and you'll know the total weight without me on it, because that is another story. For reference, I am 1 meter 93. That will make me 6'4". And weigh about 105, sometimes a little more, depending on the day. So, specs aside, today I'm going to tell you a little bit about this motorcycle. A bit peculiar, I know. It is a 13-year-old motorcycle. It's not exactly a new motorcycle to be first impressioning, as it were. Well, if you look up this type of motorcycle on YouTube, you'll soon realize that there aren't much reviews, first impressions, whatever you want to call it, about this specific bike, with the exception of videos where the multitude of time is spent with the front wheel up. The one thing I've learned while riding it is that cornering, some of you might know that I own a Kawasaki Z1000SX, but if I take a corner, you can feel the cornering ABS working, not the cornering ABS, but the electronics helping you a little bit with everything you're doing. This doesn't have cornering ABS, this doesn't have ABS, this doesn't have traction control, and honestly, I don't think you need it. It is so nimble, so maneuverable, and to be quite honest, not all that powerful. Sure, it has a healthy amount of torque, as I said before, but if you're used to a little bit of motorcycle riding, this is not exactly super challenging. This in the corners actually inspires more confidence in me than my Z1000SX. Now, I am well aware that says more about me than it does about the motorcycle. As you might be able to hear, the one cylinder does a lot of Datta. That exhaust makes a very distinct sound. Now, I hate saying it's the best sound I've ever heard. Actually, I think it sounds quite bad. I've already ordered other exhausts to put on there because, well, Jesus. I think this one sounds a little bit like a tractor. Swinging in there, swinging into the corner. I don't know this corner, by the way. I don't know how much how much I have to lean in. I don't know how fast I should go in it. But even without all of the electronics on board, I am fairly confident of whatever lies ahead. I'll probably be able to take it. Not only because it's so lightweight and it corners so well, but because the brakes are quite good. So even if I take the corner a little bit too hard, if I pump the front brake, it comes to a stop relatively fast. So fast actually that I have to make sure not to grab it too hard, or I'll most likely do a stoppie. No one behind me. Alright, brake, 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 brake. Oh. So, no complaints on that front. Low speed. I mean, it's light, so it's very manageable, but there's one thing about it, and because it's a one cylinder, it's a little bit choppy. So you really have to feather the throttle a little bit. Once you get used to where it bites, then it's okay, of course. But yeah, slow speed shouldn't be much of a problem either. Let's take that corner here. Oh yeah. My butt is vibrating, I can tell you that much. The seat, quite narrow, quite hard, but all in all, I mean, it's a Supermoto, what did you expect? There's some pops and bangs from the exhaust. It has the overtaking power, so if you need to overtake a car in regular traffic, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I'm telling you now, if you're used to higher cylinder, higher cc motorcycles, you're gonna have to work for it a little bit more. I think this goes very well with me. It's also quite high, and since I'm quite tall, that is a plus as well, because you feel more at home on the motorcycle. The bars are a little bit higher, so it's easier to sit on it for a longer time if you're tall. The seating, the leg position, I mean, something to get used to, sure, but everything else, oh, I love it. The dash is rudimentary, sure, but keep in mind this is a 2007 year motorcycle, so I mean, it has a digital dash, which in itself, at least partly digital, which in itself is already quite surprising to me. It tells you the time, it also tells you how fast you're going, it tells you the temperature of the motorcycle, the engine that is, the kilometers you've done so far, you know, the usual. One thing it doesn't tell you, which I find like the tiniest bit annoying to be honest, is it doesn't have a fuel gauge. You basically ride it, and when you're out of fuel, well, not out of fuel, when you're low on fuel, then the fuel light will come on. When the fuel light comes on, you have about 2 or 3 liters of the 13.5 that are in there. It'll get you about 20-25 kilometers far if you're being very careful. You can take this on the highway if you want to. I mean, I use it. That's a good point. I use it to commute, which by now you might realize, what do you mean you use it to commute? Yeah, I kind of forgot to tell you. This is my motorcycle now. I bought this when the reviews of this first iteration of this motorcycle came out. Reliability wise, most reviews were like, yeah, it's a KTM, it's probably going to be very good. Not really the case. User reviews scored it fairly high on its engine, its performance, its fun factor, all of that stuff. But on its reliability, not so much. It had wiring looms, you know, brake cables, all of that. It needs to be said that this is a 2007 model, and we are 13 years on, so chances are that the motorcycles that had a lot of problems, well, they're probably gone now, or their issues have been resolved, they've been fixed. It's hard to tell, but I think most likely the motorcycles that are for sale now, if you go and take a look at them, they'll probably be okay. Look at that. I don't know if that captures on camera, but I didn't shift back. I didn't go a gear lower. It's not even vibrating anymore. That's just bouncing. That's what it does. This thing connects you to the road more than the other motorcycles, more modern motorcycles do. This thing is more like, yeah, here's 2 wheels and an engine. Go have some fun. I work in Brussels. Brussels is the capital of this country, meaning there's quite a lot of traffic there. And this thing, in between traffic, effortless. I can't show you, unfortunately, but just trust me on this. It's pretty much effortless. More Datta. It's very easy to take this thing low to the ground at low speed. And then it's very easy to do this. Look at that, I'm basically... Oh. It basically feels like a flat. I'm not, by the way. But God, the excitement it gives you. The fun factor, it's unreal. So the suspension is a little bit squishy for my taste. The front is really good. The back, I'll have to adjust. If you're looking at this to mainly perhaps commute, do some little bit of perhaps illegal things. Perhaps you like to ride one-wheeled. This can do all that and more. Anyway, I've been FX. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, comment if you have something to say, and I'll see you next time.